Today, I had an interesting conversation with a supervisee. They were trying to figure out how to word a letter to a GP where there was an element of diagnostic uncertainty. And in fact, maybe the GP had actually made a mistake in their diagnosis and the treatment plan. And the question is, how do you write that in such a way that raises the issue for the general practitioner or the psychiatrist or whoever the other health professional is, but in a way that is respectful and courteous, as well as recognizing the impacts of that letter on the person's file? For instance, if you're questioning, does this person have a history of substance abuse? Does this person have a personality disorder? Is that person malingering? How can we write the letter in a way that is respectful and doesn't do harm to the client? My first response is that you probably can't. No matter how you write that letter, there will be a tone of either complexity or accusation or suggestion that perhaps the care has been inadequate. At a secondary level, when that letter is subpoenaed or obtained through freedom of information or obtained as part of an insurance review, that letter will seem like a far more significant red flag of poor care. What I suggest in these situations is always pick up the phone. There is research indicating that greater quality of care and better outcomes are achieved when specialist mental health care practitioners and primary physicians actually talk to each other. When I talk to doctors who have referred to me, that's when we have the tricky conversations that we don't want to put in a letter. I'll give an example. I've got a friend who's a pediatrician. About 2 years ago, he referred me a client for treatment. As I'm sitting with the kid, recognizing complete lack of eye contact, no social reciprocity, and a range of other issues that strongly indicate that this kid is sitting on the autism spectrum, I'm looking at the referral from my friend, and there's no recognition that the kid might be having any issues relating to the autism spectrum whatsoever. I sat for a little while with that and thinking about, how do I write a letter to my friend asking, how did you miss this really obvious differential diagnosis? And eventually I decided, I'm just going to pick up the phone, I'm just going to call. So I called him and we had the conversation. And he said to me, well, you saw a completely different kid to me. I saw that kid 2 months ago, and his level of psychomotor hyperactivity was so large that I wasn't even able to observe his eye contact. I prescribed him a stimulant, and it sounds like the stimulant is working. Thanks for the conversation. I'll book him in for a follow-up and actually check up. My observation and their observation were completely different. When we talk to each other, we collaborate, we compare notes, and there's not an element of defensiveness. When we write letters to each other, there's always that slight feeling of accusation. It's less likely to lead to good patient outcomes. So my challenge for you, pick up the phone more often. If you don't know how to do that, top piece of it. Now, if you're worried that you're never going to get a psychiatrist or a pediatrician or a GP on the phone, here's my top tip from all of the GPs, psychiatrists, pediatricians, healthcare professionals that I've ever worked with. Phone up, not expecting to talk to the person, but ready to talk to the person. Speak to admin, because sometimes they'll put you straight through to the doctor. Be ready to go, be ready to speak efficiently, be ready to communicate whatever your thing is as quickly as possible. But also be ready to ask the question, when would be a good time for us to have a 5-minute chat, 10-minute chat, 15-minute chat? Learn how to be concise, learn how to be respectful, and learn how to collaborate. Recently, I've had a lot of early career psychologists reach out to me to ask if there are any structured learning programs to help them in terms of their CPD and their supervision. Now, at the moment, myself and my team are only offering supervision for registrars. And if you're interested in that, we offer a complete supervision package at learning.prep.clinic. However, the CPD that we offer, which includes some of the world's leaders in a range of topics. If you just have a look up here at some of the people that we've got lined up, that CPD program is available at a very reasonable price on a subscription model. So if you're interested, go and check out the options at learning.prep.clinic.